Introduction. The hidden battles of scientific progress in the shadowy corridors of scientific history, beyond the sterile laboratories and pristine equations, lurk the enigmatic battles that have shaped our understanding of reality itself. Welcome to Lecture 31 of our Unusual Science series, where today we venture into the mysterious realm of famous scientific rivalries. The pages of scientific progress are not merely written with the ink of collaboration and noble pursuit of knowledge. No, are often stained with the fierce competition of brilliant minds locked in intellectual combat, each desperate to claim the throne of discovery for themselves. These captivating duels of intellect reveal the profoundly human drama behind the greatest scientific advances in history, where ambition, ego, and the relentless pursuit of truth collide in ways both magnificent and terrible. The Calculus War, Newton versus Leibniz, our first enigmatic conflict, takes us back to the 17th century, where two towering intellects found themselves entangled in a dispute so bitter it would divide mathematics for centuries. Isaac Newton, the reclusive English genius, and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, the German polymath and philosopher, independently developed calculus, a mathematical system so powerful it would unlock the secrets of motion, change, and the very laws of the universe itself. Newton had developed his method of fluxions in the 1660s, but true to his secretive nature, published little about it for decades. Leibniz, meanwhile, developed his own version in the 1670s and published his work in 1684, introducing the elegant notation we still use today. When Newton finally published his work in 1687, the perplexing question emerged: who deserved credit for this revolutionary mathematical system? The dispute rapidly descended into accusations of plagiarism. Newton's supporters claimed Leibniz had stolen the ideas during a visit to London, where he allegedly saw Newton's unpublished manuscripts. Leibniz vehemently denied these charges, insisting on his independent discovery. The Royal Society, of which Newton was president, convened an impartial committee to investigate. In a baffling twist of scientific politics, this committee, secretly written by Newton himself, concluded that Leibniz had plagiarized Newton's work. The mysterious conflict had transformed from mathematical dispute to character assassination. The enchanting irony of this rivalry is that both men were actually correct in their claims of independent discovery. Modern historians recognize that calculus was simultaneously invented by both mathematicians. Yet the consequences of this feud were profound. British mathematicians, loyal to Newton, ignored advances made by continental mathematicians using Leibniz's superior notation, hindering British mathematical progress for over a century. The Calculus War reveals a captivating truth. Even the most brilliant minds can be blinded by pride and nationalism, demonstrating how the human element can both accelerate and impede scientific enlightenment. The current war, Edison versus Tesla, perhaps no scientific rivalry crackles with more electrical intensity than the enigmatic battle between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla, a conflict that would determine how power itself flows through our modern world. Edison, the pragmatic American inventor and businessman, championed direct current DC electricity. Tesla, the visionary Serbian-American engineer, advocated for the seemingly mystical alternating current, AC. Their confrontation wasn't merely theoretical. It was a high-stakes battle for the very infrastructure of electrical power that would illuminate the coming century. The mesmerizing drama began when Tesla, once Edison's employee, quit after Edison allegedly refused to pay him a promised bonus. Tesla then partnered with George Westinghouse to develop AC power systems that could transmit electricity over much greater distances than Edison's DC system. Edison, sensing an existential threat to his electrical empire, launched a bewildering campaign to discredit AC power. In one of the most disturbing chapters of scientific rivalry, Edison publicly electrocuted animals, including an elephant, to demonstrate AC's supposed dangers, calling the process being Westinghoused. Edison even secretly helped develop the first electric chair using AC current, hoping to associate his rival's technology with death in the public imagination. The baffling intensity of this rivalry culminated at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, where Westinghouse and Tesla's AC system dramatically illuminated the fairgrounds, demonstrating its clear superiority. The captivating conclusion to this scientific duel came when AC power was chosen to harness the energy of Niagara Falls, bringing electricity to cities miles away, a feat impossible with DC power. Despite Edison's machinations, Tesla's AC system ultimately prevailed as the standard for electrical power transmission worldwide. Yet, in a perplexing twist of fate, Tesla died in relative obscurity and poverty, while Edison remains celebrated as America's greatest inventor, demonstrating how history doesn't always reward the scientific victor. Evolution's co-discoverers. Darwin versus Wallace. Not all scientific rivalries burn with antagonism. Some emerge as strange parallels that reveal the mysterious ways great ideas can surface simultaneously in the stream of human consciousness. Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace independently formulated virtually identical theories of evolution by natural selection, a scientific coincidence so extraordinary it seems to defy probability. Darwin had been meticulously developing his theory for over 20 years without publishing when, in 1858, he received a manuscript from Wallace, a naturalist working in the Malay archipelago, outlining essentially the same theory Darwin had been crafting in secret. The enchanting twist in this scientific tale is how it was resolved. Rather than erupting into bitter conflict, friends arranged for both men's papers to be presented jointly at the Linnean Society of London. Yet beneath this cordial resolution lay mysterious inequities. Darwin, well-connected and from the upper class, would go on to publish On the Origin of Species and claim the lion's share of recognition. Wallace, of more humble origins, graciously accepted a lesser place in scientific history despite his equivalent insight. This peculiar rivalry reveals how social class and connections could shape scientific credit as much as the ideas themselves. Wallace even called his own book on evolutionary theory Darwinism, magnanimously cementing his rival's primacy. The race for DNA. Watson and Crick versus Franklin. Few scientific pursuits have been shrouded in more controversy than the perplexing race to discover the structure of DNA, the very molecule that encodes life itself. James Watson and Francis Crick at Cambridge University competed with Rosalind Franklin and Maurice Wilkins at King's College London to solve one of biology's greatest mysteries. Franklin, using X-ray crystallography, produced Photo 51, an image that clearly revealed DNA's helical structure. This crucial piece of evidence would help unlock the puzzle, but the circumstances surrounding its use remain clouded in ethical ambiguity. The unsettling mystery at the heart of this rivalry is how Watson and Crick gained access to Franklin's groundbreaking X-ray images. Without her knowledge, Wilkins showed Watson Franklin's Photo 51, providing the critical insight they needed to build their correct model of DNA. In 1953, Watson and Crick published their famous paper in Nature describing the double helix structure, briefly acknowledging they had been stimulated by Franklin's work, a baffling understatement of her contribution. Franklin, unaware of how her data had been shared, continued her research without recognition of her pivotal role. In a tragic twist, she died of ovarian cancer in 1958 at just 37, never knowing how central her work had been to one of the greatest scientific discoveries of the 20th century. Watson, Crick, and Wilkins received the Nobel Prize in 1962, 4 years after Franklin's death. Since Nobel Prizes are not awarded posthumously, we're left with the perplexing question of whether Franklin would have shared this honor had she lived. This enigmatic rivalry reveals the darker undercurrents of scientific competition, where gender bias, questionable ethics in data sharing, and the rush for recognition can overshadow the collaborative ideal of scientific progress. The mysterious legacy of Franklin's contribution remained underappreciated for decades, only recently receiving the recognition it deserves, demonstrating how the true history of scientific discovery often lies buried beneath the officially sanctioned narrative. Modern scientific rivalries. The captivating drama of scientific rivalry continues to unfold in our modern era, though often in more complex institutional forms. Consider the baffling battle over CRISPR gene editing technology between the Broad Institute, associated with MIT and Harvard, and the University of California, Berkeley. This patent dispute between Jennifer Doudna and Feng Zhang's teams has involved billions of potential dollars and the future of biotechnology itself. In artificial intelligence, the mysterious competition between tech giants like Google, OpenAI, and Meta to develop increasingly powerful systems reflects how commercial interests now shape scientific rivalry as much as individual egos. Even the stars themselves have become the stage for modern rivalry, as the enigmatic competition between Elon Musk's SpaceX and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin demonstrates. Private companies racing to claim the final frontier. What makes these modern rivalries particularly perplexing is their scale and complexity. No longer merely conflicts between individuals, they involve massive teams, corporate interests, and geopolitical considerations. Yet beneath the corporate logos and institutional affiliations, the same human elements remain: ambition, pride, and the relentless drive to be first. The fundamental nature of scientific rivalry endures, merely transformed for our interconnected age. Conclusion: the dual nature of scientific conflict as we emerge from our exploration of these captivating scientific battles, a profound truth becomes clear. Rivalry is the shadow twin of progress, ever present where breakthroughs occur. These enigmatic conflicts reveal science not as a detached, purely rational endeavor, but as a deeply human one, where brilliance and flaws coexist in the same minds, where competition both accelerates discovery and sometimes corrupts the process. Perhaps most perplexing is how history remembers these duels. Time often simplifies the complex interplay of personalities and contributions, reducing rich historical tapestries to simplified narratives of winners and losers. Yet in the mysterious evolution of scientific understanding, we find that the truth eventually emerges. Franklin's crucial contributions to the DNA discovery are now widely recognized. Tesla's genius has been reclaimed from historical obscurity. Even Leibniz's elegant calculus notation ultimately prevailed globally. The baffling paradox of scientific rivalry is that while individual scientists may win or lose these personal battles, science itself marches forward, incorporating the insights of both victor and vanquished. And so we're left with an enchanting realization. Behind the objective facade of scientific progress lies a landscape of human drama as complex and captivating as any in our history, where the pursuit of knowledge is inseparable from the pursuit of recognition, and where the greatest discoveries often emerge from the crucible of competition. As we close this mysterious chapter on scientific rivalries, consider your own intellectual pursuits. Do you work better in collaboration or competition? And when you encounter resistance to your ideas, does it defeat you or drive you to greater heights? For in the enigmatic dance between cooperation and rivalry, we find not just the story of scientific progress, but perhaps the story of human progress itself. Thank you for joining me on this captivating journey through the shadowy world of scientific rivalries. In our next lecture, we'll explore another fascinating dimension of scientific history: the complex relationship between science and religion.